Now let's start with you, Dr. Osborne. Why is cardiovascular risk reduction such an important issue for you in your practice, and what challenges do you run into? That's inevitable, right?
Well, of course, I'm a cardiologist, so I see cardiovascular risk uh, every single day. And it is important because it clearly is the largest killer of Americans. Over 700,000 people died of cardiovascular disease even in 2020, which is twice the rate of those that died from the pandemic, as an example. And so lowering that risk is really very, very important for everyone, just because the extent of cardiovascular disease and persistent cardiovascular risk, the risk of stroke or heart attack, still remains very, very high.
Okay, and let's move on to you, Mike. Can you discuss your experience with cardiovascular risk and your journey towards just a healthy lifestyle? We all want to achieve that healthy lifestyle.
The best I can say is to stay informed. I'm one that I'm always researching stuff, take it to John, and John brings it to me, and we discuss what's the best course of action. And the latest one that we went through, that was a big one for me, is to lower the risk of any further heart attacks or bypasses or anything like that by keeping knowledgeable. And he suggested I go to a website called itscleartomenow.com to get more information that I bring to him, and we talk about it, and he keeps me updated. I think that's the best course of action to keep myself healthy.
Now, Dr. Osborne, can you discuss how you work with your patients, like Mike, to make sure that they're on the latest treatments to help reduce cardiovascular risk, even if that means changing regimens and behaviors?
Sure. And many times we have to change to stay current. The science changes all the time. The approaches changes. As an example of that, there are millions of people on a class of drugs called fenofibrates. These would be drugs like Tricor and Trilipix that were thought to lower cardiovascular risk and in fact don't. So it is very important to understand that the science changes, and Mike and I have been through this as well as we've evaluated the data to make sure that he's on the right tools that are backed by science and data and FDA approved to help further lower his risk of cardiovascular disease and to keep him flying.
That's good that you mentioned, science changes. We as human beings change the way that our bodies react to the things that we're trying to keep ourselves healthy. So Mike, how has your life changed since switching your treatment options?
Well, my life's changed because I've become more confident and more knowledgeable, more confident in the future that I'm not going to have any more cardiovascular problems or any of those type things that would exhibit from those. By following Dr. Osborne's suggestions and following the FDA-approved programs, staying off of things that will cause me to have less than the outcome that I'm looking for, which is lowering my risk of heart attacks.
So tell me, you mentioned a website earlier. Is that where we want to go for more information?
Great place to start to get up to speed, questions to ask your providers that has the latest data and the science about cardiovascular risk reduction is called itscleartomenow.com. It's a great resource. Encourage everybody, go to the website, check it out. Great questions to ask your provider so that you can help control your pathway, your progress, your approach to lower your risk of persistent cardiovascular disease.
Cleartomenow.com is where you want to go for more information. Thank you, Dr. John Osborne and Mike Hodge, for joining us today.